Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another vocabulary practice. We're going to stay with some of these Latin and Greek roots, and they're complicated. Some of the words I know you're not familiar with, and that's okay, but we actually get to learn the words together and see these small parts of the roots inside of a word and how it really does affect the meaning of the word. And together we get stronger. And what do we always say? Together we're what? We're better. That's right. And practice makes what? Permanent. That's right. Not perfect, but permanent. Okay, so we are going to take a look at some of these roots behind me. Last time we took a look at some of the roots. They were a little bit easier. Like, do you remember the one that had the CAP, cap? That's right. They were words that had to do with the head, right? Because we wear a cap on our head. Or the PED, right? Like pedal, pedicure we talked about. And so anyway, let's take a look at some new root words today. And again, stay with me if you don't recognize some of these words. We're going to go through them together, and I'm not testing you on them. Okay, we're just going to get warmed up. Here we go. So here's our first root, A-S-T, and it's actually asked. And when we see this root in a word, we're going to think about a star. Okay, so let's start off with astronaut. Astronaut. That's right. And what do astronauts do? They actually take spacecraft into space, don't they? Okay, so again, dealing with the stars. Okay, even though we know they travel onto the moon, they're still launching into space, right? That's an astronaut. Let's take a look at an asteroid. Okay, and what is an asteroid? A lot of people call these stars. They're hard, rocky masses that are up in the orbits and the galaxies. Okay, so interesting word. Let's say it again. Asteroid. Look at that O-I-D at the end. Asteroid. Okay, a rocky, hard substance out in space. Man. Okay, and then our word, say it, disaster. And I think you all knew that one. And often that is a destruction of something due to something natural. You know, a storm. And so very interesting. Let's do them again. Here we go. Astronaut, we see that asteroid, and disaster. Okay, very good. All right, we are going to move on to bio. And when we see bio in a word, we're going to think about life, because that's what that root means. Let's take a look. Well, there it is, biology. And what do we know biology is? It's the study of life organisms. Okay, very good. Again, biopsy. Oh, I'm saying the word too fast. I'm not making you do your work. Biopsy. Very good. Okay, and actually, what is a biopsy? Well, that is actually when a surgeon takes a small piece, a living cell, or to study and examine. And so that is taking a biopsy, a small piece, taking away from a live organism, life organism, in order to study. And the last one is biography. Okay, and we've spoken about that before in some of our book studies, where it is the story of a person's life. How about that, right? Okay, very cool. Let's say the words again together. Here we go. Biology, biopsy, biography. Okay. Very good. We're really tricky today, aren't we? All right. So here we have the root gram, and gram is actually dealing with letters or writing. Let's take a look at the words. Diagram. Diagram. And this is actually sketching out words or letters, and we've done that before in some of our Venn diagramming, right, where we have actually taken components of a story for similar and different ways the stories were together, and that Venn diagram helped us to see the words for a better understanding of the book, didn't it? Okay, very good. And we have the word, this one is easy, that's grammar, that's the study, or actually what it is that each of you learn how to do in school, right? Where you're using your words and your letters to create sentences and the understanding of the structure of our language. So again, letter writing, grammar. Okay. Monogram. A monogram. Now, how many of you know what a monogram is? Okay, let's take a look. That's when you take the letters and you bring them together to like your initials. Mine would be SLW. I would bring SLW together and create what's called a monogram. And so maybe on my shirt or on my jacket, I'll just have the first initials of my name. And so those three initials would come together, and we call that a monogram. And so, or just one initial alone. A lot of times you may have a towel that might have your last name initial on it or whatever, but that is, again, a monogram dealing with letter or writing. So again, cool, right? There's the gram, gram, gram. And again, that root does mean letter and writing. Okay, so let's move on. We have the word photo. And when we see words with photo, we're going to think about light. So let's take a look. Well, there it is. A photograph. Okay, it's a photograph. It is a picture that has been taken using light and the camera. So photograph. The next one, oh, this is an interesting one. Let's say it together. Photogenic. Photogenic. And actually, we use this as a compliment sometimes. We say, oh, you're so photogenic. That means when somebody takes a picture of you, you just light up. Well, actually, photogenic means to have light coming through something. Again, a root. So very interesting. Photogenic. The light is able to pass through. And that's probably what makes a picture come out really good. Okay. And this last one, photosynthesis. Oh, now you better know this one, even though it's a tricky one. Let's say it together again. Photosynthesis. Now I know, especially my fifth graders, you've studied that. And what is it? It is the process of plants using light, very good, and turning it into energy, chemical energy. That's right, very good. So we can study together again, right? Okay, so taking a look at the photo words again, let's say them together. Here we go. Photograph, photogenic, photosynthesis. Very good, photosynthesis. And sometimes when I spell it, I say to myself, photosynthesis, just so I can hear each of those letters. I always do stuff like that so I can be a better speller. All right, and then our last root is the word therm. And I think you're going to be most comfortable with these words because you've seen them before. So let's go through them. Therm, the root actually means heat. So let's take a look at these words and see what we see. Again, thermal, we know that's what the formal word for heat. So if we're talking about thermal, we are talking about heat. The thermostat, I know you're all familiar with, because that establishes how hot or cold something is, right? We know that we have a thermostat in our house, don't we? So we can regulate or decide what temperature we want it to be where we're living. Very good. And then our last one, thermometer. We see that therm. Okay, and again, how does it relate to heat? It measures the heat or the cold in our homes, right? So the thermostat actually measures how much heat is in our home. Okay, I told you, really getting our brains warmed up, but I'm not letting you go yet. I want to go over them all again. They're really good words, just good strength training. So that's right, and that's what we want. We want strong readers, because then when we're strong readers, we have strong comprehension and we grow. So we're going to do them together. Here we go. So our first root, we had ast. Say it with me. Astronaut, asteroid, disaster. Very good. The next one, bio, meaning life, biology, biopsy, biography. Very good. Our next one, gram, meaning letter or writing. We have the word diagram, grammar, and monogram. Monogram. Very good. Okay, and the word photo. We're going to think about light. And again, here we go. Photograph, photogenic, and photosynthesis. Okay, see, not too bad. All right, the next one, therm. We're going to think about heat. And let's go ahead and review these words. Thermal, thermostat, and thermometer. Okay, wow. So much for our vocabulary practice on the Latin and Greek roots. Way to go, you guys. Thanks again for joining me. See you next time.